Welcome to JH Creative. I'm so excited for today's guest. Guess who it is? It is Chrissy Souders, the one and only. She's been a co-host and production manager, helping me run my shows. We probably had 24 episodes now. If this is today's 24, but 21, but in total with my Filipino Hustle Fridays, it's got to be at least 24.
Yeah, at least 24, right? Wait, it's always backwards. There we go.
Right, exactly. Thank you.
Julia, thank you for having me in this speaker seat today.
Yes, I had to because I know big things are coming your way. Let me just briefly mention she's the CEO of Kitchy Wearable Art. She has over a decade of experience in broadcast journalism, sharing stories and branding herself on television and social media. Chrissy has recently partnered with DivvyUp Socks and working with them to expand their business. So of course, it's a pleasure always to interact with Chrissy, and everybody in Tallahassee knows her because she's helped a lot of businesses get their events online during the shutdowns. She's done a tremendous amount of a service to our community by doing so, and I really, really appreciate you, Chrissy, for being on this show today. And let's talk about your story. So how did it all go about? How did you start Kitchy Wearable Art and now to where you are today?
Oh, so I'll take you back to 2017, where it all began at my kitchen dining room table. I was working the graveyard shift for a local TV station as the news anchor. And one day, just out of being delirious, I have random thoughts in my head, and I'm a very nostalgic person. And so I had just recalled back in the 80s how I had these amazing zipper earrings. And so I was like, oh, I need to have a pair of zipper earrings. And so I went on Amazon, not going to lie, couldn't find zipper earrings. And then I kept looking. I actually, out of being so tired after a overnight shift with the news station that I was working for, you just kind of you're kind of in that fog. And so I kept looking and I still couldn't find zipper earrings. And so then I just came to the point where I'm just going to make zipper earrings. I'm not going to take you down that rabbit hole because that was another rabbit hole. But it started with zipper earrings, and the type of person that I am, I can't just I'm kind of obsessive compulsive. And so I was like, well, if I can make zipper earrings, I can make other really funky jewelry. And so it was something that my niece and I started to do together, and it just took a mind of its own. And now that's where we're at today. we have three storefronts, cool. Technically 3 storefronts. We have our location at the Hampton Inn Suites in downtown Tallahassee. And then we also have the Kitchy Mobile located at Railroad Square Art District next to the Craft House. And we also have what's called a Murphy Bed kiosk at All Saints Cafe. And then we are very active in showing up at markets and events in the community. So we're always at the downtown market. And we actually show up to some fun events as well, too. So we'll actually be at the Tallahassee Beer Festival coming up in November with the Kitchy Mobile. So it's really fun. And we have a lot of great people involved and a lot of people who support my small business here in the community. And I want to say thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. It's really neat to see what you've been able to do with it in just a few years. You took also custom art, right? And I think that's what I remember. And I can't even remember how I was introduced to you, but somehow I met you and I walked into your shop, and that's when you kind of showed me what you did, where you took real people's art, paintings, and then eventually just redesign them or put them on jewelry, right? What's your process like?
So absolutely. So I want to do a shout out to my friend who is a well-known artist here in Tallahassee. She now lives in Austin. Her name's Colette Probst, and Hardiman now because she's married. But so, we met when I was a news anchor, and just kind of, connected in that way and developed a friendship. And so she actually gifted me for Christmas one of her original artwork drawings. It's so funny because we're kind of kindred spirits. And so it was, the gremlins. There's this classic scene where the gremlins opens up its shirt and it kind of flashes people. So she drew that for me. And I was like, you know what? I have to give her a gift because she gifted me. And so she had no clue that I was an artist in my own right. And so I was like, what's your favorite, piece of art that you've done? And she sent me her Madonna that she loves so much. And I put that in a necklace for her and in a keychain for her. And she got it. And she's like, I had no clue you did this. I'm like, I've never seen anything like this. I need like 10 more of them so I can sell them. And so that's where that all started, where we started collaborating with artists worldwide to put their art in wearable art. Because we do feel that art should be accessible to everyone and that it shouldn't be just for people who have moolah, the money. We think that everyone should be able to embrace their own identity with wearing art. And so that's how it all started with the wearable art concept.
I love that concept. So that's how it started. It actually happened with just one local artist. And then from there, you were able to market it and do it for other artists all over the country. I think I
Yeah, and
remember
let
you
me
told me
remind
that.
you, at this time, like I was doing a lot of educating for artists because wearable art wasn't a thing.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? It just like wasn't a thing. And so I had to do a lot of, as far as educating them on what is wearable art. And now it's totally a thing, right? So
Because of you,
yeah.
it sounds like you started it.
No, I did not start it. I think it was in a weird way,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So and there's so many interpretations of wearable art. Like for me, my wheelhouse is putting art in jewelry and accessories, right? But you can also place art on t-shirts and
Right. Yeah.
different types of mediums.
That's true. Very true. What was I thinking? I always think of jewelry when I hear about it because I feel like you're the first that I've met that pioneers this concept of wearable art. Speaking of wearable art, I know you've teamed up somehow with DivvyUp Socks, and they're another local startup that has gotten a lot of success. They've done the whole thing where, I mean, pretty much it started obviously as a sock company that wanted to donate free socks to the homeless to solve a problem because the homeless, they found in their research, homeless people get sick primarily through not having socks, or they were barefoot and they'd catch diseases and things like that. I love their mission. And so now they've been able to build that business by getting custom art onto socks and selling it, personalized custom socks. So it's almost a similar concept. How did that go about? Whatever you're allowed to say and disclose on this story, when you and DivvyUp teamed up.
Okay, so it happened during the pandemic. Thankfully, I have a lot of people who support my crazy ideas, and they're willing to give a warm handshake. And so I'll mention Barbara Westcott. She was probably one of the first people to introduce me to my now partners with DivvyUp Socks, bosses as well too, because I just got a promotion. And so what happened is, during the start of the pandemic, we started leading the effort in making masks and getting that message out to the public. And so that was a city initiative where we incorporated Women Wednesdays, which is whom I volunteer with. And then DivvyUp Socks actually, made the masks. And so that's how the relationship blossomed. And then during the pandemic, they approached me and said, hey, we're interested in teaming up with Kitschy Wearable Art. And that's how it all started. And so now we're offering kind of the same mechanisms that they do for their socks. So essentially pets and people, we can custom any of our jewelry to put people's pets and faces on it. And they make great Christmas holiday gifts. Gifts all year round. And so now that's what we offer as far as like with pets and people. Now it's kind of a funny marriage because we still do the wholesale for artists as well too, and that's through Kitschy Wearable Art, but our missions align with each other. And so, you never know what the future will bring. And that's with Kitchy Wearable Art. And then recently, and I really can't say too much because it's kind of in the infant stages, but we are connecting with local businesses to partner up in leading the effort to give the homeless socks. And so we're doing that through our local businesses and partners. And so if you're a business owner and you're interested in teaming up with us, let me know.
That's so awesome, Chrissy. You're getting busy. How are you managing it all? And aren't you planning your wedding on top of that?
I don't know what you mean by that, but planning. So me and my fiance, Bill Fredericks, he's also a local business owner here with Frequency XP, located at Railroad Square Art District. We're both entrepreneurs, and we both, we're kind of cut from the same cloth. Like, yes, we're engaged and got engaged over Christmas, and but we really don't have a timestamp, and both of our businesses were really, entrenched in them and setting ourselves up for success so we can have like really one great party when we get married. So the planning has not really started yet because we want to make sure it's a really big party.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, and you do so many shows as well. So how has it been through all of this, managing all of that on top of so many shows, managing people? Like, where is everything related to Chrissy Souders going to be in the next several years? Where do you see yourself?
Oh, goodness. Okay. So, I see myself really, focused on, leading the effort with getting our socks out there with DivvyUp, and then also growing the wearable art side of that, whether it's jewelry or some other mechanism, I'm in it. So that's where I'm at. I am kind of transitioning out of the live streaming, but we've got some great partners in the community that do take on the live streams for me. So if you're still interested in live streams, you can still reach out to me, and I'll make sure that you're directed to the right people who can handle it for you. But I've kind of Women Wednesdays is such a great group to be a part of, and you learn so much just being a part of that community. And, I've realized that I can't do it all. And so there is a time where I really have to, think about me and, what my future goals are. And so that's part of it, stepping away from the live streams, but and then also, fulfilling, what I want to do with Kitchy Wearable Art and what we're doing here with DivvyUp.
That's awesome. You're a serial entrepreneur, pretty much, essentially, and and that's like the beauty of, and that's why the show is on, because I want to feature stories of people like you who are just really like it's instinctive for you. You're creative, and you can apply how you make things happen and get things done and create things on every aspect, from digital to jewelry to creating a business. So I think it's important for people to understand, like, everyone deep down has a creative gene. It's just about a matter of tapping into that and what you're passionate about. Sometimes it's multiple passions and building them at the same time. So how do you feel, like, of all the different things that you've been doing, what has really helped you grow your business? I would imagine, of course, what your social media presence and your personal relationships.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, okay, sorry, I thought I was muted for a second because I was trying to share this post out to everybody. Multitasking. So I definitely think strategic partnerships. I always knew with Kitchy Wearable Art that I would never grow on my own. I knew it would either need to be to team up with a great partner, or also, or perhaps investors, however you see it, which way or Sunday. And so I'm really focused on essentially knowing what my brand represents, and really focused on that, and saying yes to the opportunities that are really focused on my brand and the mission. So that's super important. I say yes a lot, but now I'm finding myself where I have to say no, which is hard for me because I don't like to say that. But like, there comes a point where, there's only so much time in a day and you have to do that.
Right.
So I definitely say strategic partnerships is one. And then, yes, having the knowledge and utilizing social media. But I wouldn't say always having social media be part of the structure of your business, not having it be in its entirety. We see on TikTok and we see on Instagram people who solely have their business on Facebook and Instagram. And obviously that's not sustainable because, Monday we just saw Facebook and Instagram go down.
Exactly.
So
I'm glad you brought that up. It's really true. You can't solely depend on one platform, especially with technology. There's unpredictable things that can happen. So I'm glad you brought that up.
And just in its, entirety, it's just not smart business if you're just, if you have to rely on something like that, that's so huge, that's so crucial to your business, it's not smart business, right? And so we're really about, partnering with artists and also partnering with retailers as well. And, making sure that we give back in our community, partnering with nonprofits and really aligning ourselves with organizations that we feel, really align with our mission as well, too. I think that answered the question. I'm not sure if that did.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. I was just looking at the comments there. It's really cool. Thank you for watching. I see Rachel has commented and Taylor, thank you so much for taking the time to ask your questions. Feel free to chime in even afterwards when you see this recording and contact Chrissy. I have to say that she has done a tremendous job even training my team on how to run this broadcast because today is the official first day, surprise, surprise, for us to run this with my team. But yeah, so she has so much knowledge to give. One quick question though, Chrissy. So with DivvyUp and your plan to help them expand, and even with Kitschy Wearable Art, all of those, like, how do people contact you? How do they find out like how they can work with DivvyUp and doing their own brand with socks? And how about, and even the same process with Kitchy Wearable Art, how do they do that?
So with Kitchy Wearable Art, feel free to just go on our website, kitchywearableart.com. I'll put in the comments as well here too for you. And there you can explore our Kitchy designs. And if you're interested in partnering with us on wholesale, if you're an artist, you would just go click on the collaborate tab that's on our website. And I'll bring it up here because I know you have it waiting for me.
Yes.
So the artist, so essentially you would just go to bulk custom orders. And if you click on that, then there's also a tab that says for artists as well too. So that's where you can go if you're an artist and interested in getting your art into wearable art. We'd love to partner with you. And I love doing that because I get inspired when I work with artists because I feel so privileged to be able to put their art in wearable art. I mean, it's just so cool to see, all of that. And I apologize. I didn't type in the period between wearableart.com.
It's okay.
That was me. That was totally me.
We will have we have the URLs right here too. So
okay,
at
good.
least they have that, and we are going to link to the website. So then with purchasing or creating, when they contact you on the website and they do they just upload the image themselves and email you, or do they, what's that setup look like? It sounds like it's pretty easy. And then they just order it.
So at this point, like I have done pets and people, jewelry and individual pieces for people, and you can definitely get a custom piece, but by just going on Kitchy Wearable Art, but I highly recommend, and I'm going to share my screen. I highly recommend going to that'smybuddy.com. I'll bring it up right here. So this is that'smybuddy.com. And this is actually part of DivvyUp Socks. And so this is where you can actually go ahead and upload, and I'll put the link here in the comments. This is where you can actually upload a picture of yourself and pet and people. And this is where I highly recommend going through it, because we've really streamlined the process for people's pets and faces. And you get way cooler designs. You know, I can do it on my own for you, but like this is like far better than me doing it. So, and I still do it. I mean, I make all the backgrounds and everything, but it's just
cool.
way better.
So
if you want to get a custom piece, I recommend going to that'smybuddy.com. And it'll really still be ours. It's still, you know, everything's the same. It's just looks a little different.
Okay. So that's where you also help them and consult with the process on that, I think. Because I see that they have sister companies. Not that we're trying to talk about DivvyUp Socks today. But yeah, this is awesome. Thank you so much. That reminded me, for those who are considering to purchase these as gifts, I mean, whether you're ordering through DivvyUp Socks and all their sister companies, those products, and even with Kitschy Wearable Art, the shipments are probably going to be slow, because that's what I'm hearing these days. People are promoting everything related to the holidays and gifts to start ordering now so that you can get it back in time for the holidays.
Well, I will say, you know, obviously with this pandemic, you know, there are shipping holdups or whatever like that, but not for us, because we're based here in Tallahassee in the United States, and we have enough inventory for the holiday season. So we actually ship out our products 2 to 3 days after you submit them. So I wouldn't worry about that with us, you know. So if you want to make sure that you have a gift on time, there's no holdup in shipment. We got it.
That's great. That's awesome. Yeah, as long as you, especially for those of you who are last minute birds.
Me, totally. I'm totally last minute. Thankfully, I can make stuff. So then I get the double bonus for like, oh, she handmade it for me, right?
That works out. It depends. Like, I try to plan things ahead of time, but then there are those moments where like, oh my gosh, I didn't think about it. So of course I might submit something last minute, but
yeah. And something that's really cool with not like the DivvyUp Socks, like, you know, you can get your people's pets and faces on it, but we have some really cool designs that you can put behind it. One of my favorites, and I'll show you, we have like cow print right now, which is like so trending.
Cool.
Hopefully I can find it. I know exactly where you are in the pre-designed socks, but
that's really cool. And it looks like you guys have partnerships there with Guy Harvey and that's neat.
Guy Harvey. And then what's cool is my job is so fun because I get to like help design all these socks. Like, how fun is that? Ugh, I wish they would show up right now. I don't know what's going on with the internet. But yeah, if you ever want to see these in person, because apparently, you know, that's not happening right now. You can always come to the Kitchy Mobile located at Railroad Square Art District. And we have all the really cool socks. And you can also order custom. If you want to order custom, you know, like in person with us, you just go to any of our locations and we'll get you squared away for sure.
That is so awesome. Thank you so much, Chrissy. I know we're pretty much having to wrap it up, but I could always ask you endless questions because creative people just end up talking so much forever. And I think, I know for me, never ending ideas. But thank you again, Chrissy, for hopping on for our 21st episode. And I look forward to still continuing to work with you in one shape, form, or another. If it's not with Livestream anymore, you know that I could always support you in your business and whatever you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to do a shout out to Taylor and Destiny behind the scenes for handling a lot of the graphics today on their first try. So good job. And I'm excited for the future for JH Creative. And so thank you so much for being supportive. Even during this pandemic, it's nice because what's funny is, you know, a lot of us are just starting to see each other again in public. And I feel like I've had my friends with me throughout the pandemic, even if it's not like in person, even if I can't like touch you, you know, so it's really cool.
Yes, these live streams helped me get through 2020 for sure too. Can't believe it's already almost over for 2021.
Yeah, I know. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.